was also after some random thing. I was basically just dead scrolling. I was just scrolling, whatever. I got stuck in the short sections, and then I was like, damn it, why am I here? I don't remember. There was one clip, and then I was hoping for another clip. Some other shit and then some other shit popped up. Anyway. Oh, there was a post and everything. They talked about the school. And then I left a comment and everything like that. Okay, so they talked about the school where, okay, they don't have to come to school all the time and, like, on time. And they get graded and everything, and they get to pick the subject, and they get to take naps, and they get to play around and eat food, and they don't have any homework. And I was like, yeah, this is perfect. And then I was like, oh my god. And they were talking about how good, like, the students were. Like, you could see how much they improved and how good they were in their subjects, and how much just better precipitation, better grades, better everything. They were like, oh my god, they're doing so well. And then I was like, oh my god, that's perfect for ADHD. And then I was like, oh my god. And then later on, after I commented, someone was like, yeah, that, like, we're like, oh, that's like the ADHD dream kids school, that type of thing. But I was like, no, this is totally for ADHD kids. I was like, this has been perfect. And I was like, school failed me. I didn't fail school, but it felt like it. And I was like, I barely passed school, and I just graduated, and I didn't know anything, and I didn't learn anything the entire time. I learned nothing from school. I didn't remember anything the entire time. Everything they taught me, I didn't absorb any of it, and I didn't understand anything at all. And I'm like, I can only read and write because I practiced a lot. And I enjoyed it, and I found things that I like to read and write. That's the only thing I'm like. I didn't learn math. I still sometimes fuck up my ABCs. I have it mostly right. I cannot count at all. I cannot add. I can subtract a little bit. I can divide much better. I cannot multiply. I can multiply a little bit better than add, but not as much. And then I can't do double-digit addings or multiplying. I always had to work that on paper anyway. I just loved algebra. I couldn't understand geometry. I didn't get anything else. I failed everything. And science, I was like, science wasn't really interesting. There was, like, physics class where they literally gave me, like, I felt like they gave me the answers. They wrote out the equation. They literally wrote me the equation. I was like, this is the easiest thing ever in the world. And I was like, this looked the same as algebra. So I was like, oh my god, I'm just doing algebra. It's just another algebra class. It was so easy. And then they had the second half where we did projects the entire time. I sucked at it. Like, first half, I succeeded the class. I was passing with A's. I was flying colors. And the second half, I was barely passing. I was getting like a C. I was like, I don't know what we're doing here. I'm barely participating. I had zero understanding what's happening. Plus, every time they were like, oh, let's move on to something new. I was like, I didn't understand the last thing. And yeah, I asked questions, and you explain it to me step by step. Copied what you did, but I didn't understand any of it. I can't do it again. Or I finally figure it out, and then you move on to something else. I was like, didn't understand anything, and then science was here and there, and then I just kept trying more and more, because I was like, I took a test. I tested myself. I was like, I didn't study, like, at all. And then I took a test, and I was like, oh my god. I got almost the same grades as when I do studying. I was like, fuck studying then. I was like, I don't need to. not when I'm barely passing anyway. I was like, there's no point. There's no reason. And then I just had to fake being someone's friend, someone I hated. I was like, I despise you and I want to kill you. And I hate you. I hate you. And normally I'm like, I tell them I hate them to their face, and I was like, damn it, I can't because I don't have any friends, and I don't have any partners for projects in science class, and we always have projects. That's kind of passing. I'm mostly just coloring and drawing random crap and making bullet points. PowerPoints, yeah. That's all we're doing, apparently. And then we have random tests. I have no idea what we're doing on those tests, but okay. And sometimes they're randomly a random movie. Oh, I remember. There's a few crazy movies, but mostly I remember is... I don't remember anything now. The nature video. I thought it was really stupid, but for the most part, it just inspired me. I was like, and now we're gonna write everything. Because, they talked about, like, well, they said, like, they lied and said that windmills were, like, effective. I was like, that was BS. We all know that's BS. I knew it on my own. That is BS. And then we watched the movie, but before that we watched a movie about how, what would the Earth look like if there were humans all just vanished one day. And they talked about how, all the animals, so we would just have a new genre. So we have, obviously, the big wildcats and, like, the bobcats and the wolves. And now you would just have the dogs and the cats just added to it. And then, but we were sad for a little bit, though, because we were like, oh my god, what about the little itty bitty dogs? And I was like, And and like the cats and the people, well, the animals that were locked inside. I was like, yeah, that's not great. They all need doggy doors. I should have remembered doggy doors. They all need doggy doors, yeah. So they would have been okay. Yeah. But I did watch, I'm on a spree of watching, damn it, Phineas and Ferb. I'm on a spree of watching Phineas and Ferb, and this is gonna take all eternity, and I hate everything. Okay, nope. Phineas and Ferb, I watched, like, before that, like, I watched as many episodes as I could online. I found all of it afterwards, after I got really into it, because, yeah, I didn't grow up with anything. So we hoarded on it, and we were obsessed with Phineas and Ferb, and then we watched when they were that episode, when they were growing up, obviously, after we watched the second dimension, not universe, dimension, second dimension, watched that movie, I love that. And then we watched the after when they'd grown up, and then he's like, oh, I learned you liked me, and we might get together now. Yeah. Kind of remind me of that one movie, where this girl likes this guy who's a neighbor, but he, like, hates her, and she's like, oh, I'm flirting with you, I want to get along. He treats her like shit, he hates her, and then she gets over him. She's like, nah, I don't like him. And then she grows up, and now he's like, I'm into you, and she's like, what the fuck? I'm like, kind of seemed like they got together then, but no. I don't agree with you. That's not how that works. Because it was mostly like, she was like, yeah, that isn't how it's not works. But then it kind of seemed like they got together anyway, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Okay, sorry, random thing. But yeah. Oh, but I did like, I think it was Phineas' girlfriend. One that doesn't really talk. Oh, but he did talk a little bit more. He sounded nice. I think he had an nicer voice than Ferb. But I'm pretty sure Phineas was the taller one. I never knew their name. Well, it was like his Phineas and Ferb, so I knew their name. But I never knew who was who. And then, especially since the short one was always talking, and the other one wasn't, so you never knew. But he got the Doofenshmirtz, the villain's daughter. He got it with her, and they were riding a motorcycle, and she picked him up, and that was cute. That's why I loved. I think it was Business Proposal, and there was another one where the girl gets a motorcycle and everything and drives around. Oh, wait, I think it was that one. Yeah, because she like, I thought it might be two different ones, but it was cage drama and everything like that. So the girl that was supposed to go on a date, I don't give a shit about the main couple. The second couple is adorable, and I only gave a shit about the main couple because I was like, it's the two guys, it's the two guys, and the girl hated the guy, and I thought that was funny. But I really didn't care about that love story. I was like, I did not believe it straight. But then, it turned out it was, but then I liked the second badass girl. She beat the shit out of the guy, and then he can't talk shit, and he can't report her or anything, and then she quit. She made her own fucking business, and it's going off great, and she rides a fucking motorcycle, and her boyfriend invested in it and everything, and he's fucking awesome, and they're gonna get married and everything, but she's like, hey, I gotta hold it off for a little bit, because we gotta start this business here, and she was awesome and amazing, and oh, it might have also been another one that maybe it just felt the same, where this girl quit. She beat a jackass up. She quit, and she started dating a guy from that same company, and she picked him up on her badass motorcycle, and she started her own business, and she got super fucking rich. So, yeah, she won. Anyway, so it was another character where she was like, she won, and yeah. No, because the second one just started, like, her own business, so I guess she didn't have a motorcycle. Maybe she did, but she didn't go and pick up her boyfriend, and apparently didn't beat anyone's ass. Thought she did, though. Okay, sorry, no. But it gives the same vibe, and that's probably why I liked her, because apparently it reminded me of that in my head, where I'm just connecting dots that were always there. I don't know. Okay, random. Okay, yeah, but, yeah, Vinny is a verb, and they were cute when I grew up, and we thought the second dimension, and we love it, and it was so great. And I don't remember anything else. But yeah, totally think they did cheat. I may or may not put them in place, but like, they did everything, and they learned to do everything. And they learned how to do everything, and yeah. School was useless and failed me, and then sex ed was pretty much non-existent. I was like, you didn't learn anything. Except there was a shit ton of STDs. That was the only new information that it gave you, literally. And we're like, in here, and we're like, oh, here's a bunch of forms of birth control, and here is all of the STDs that do not have any sex. The entire time. Yeah. I learned anything, and then I learned from my sister how actually HIV works and everything like that, because I thought you just got it from having a lot of sex. And it mostly was blamed on gay people, and she mostly kind of hit it and blamed it on gay people. She's like, yeah, straight people can get it. Not 100% gay people, but still gay. And then she's like, it just how sex with boys, and I was like, well, straight people do that all the time, and lesbians didn't get it, so it must just be from guys. And then how guys would blame their girlfriends when they had it, and when the guy obviously gave it to them. And then abusive relationships, videos on that, but we didn't learn anything. No information, yeah. So I was mostly, like, focused on, like, gay people, and then, yeah, that was basically it, and I was kind of ignoring it. I was like, this is kind of homophobic, so I'm going to ignore what you're saying right now. But there wasn't really any new information, and they didn't say how they got it. They were just like, yeah, blood and sex. And that was it. They're like, not saliva, but not poop or pee, but you can get it from blood, and you can get it from shared needles, and you can get it from sex. They did not say anything else. Apparently it's only from blood. And it's usually from anal, and everyone who does anal could do that if there's bleeding. And that's all it is. So, yeah. They did not teach any of that. Like blood and sex. Yeah, no. They did not explain any of that. They didn't explain, like, what type of sex. They didn't explain any of that. They didn't explain nothing. I'd probably Google information to be sure, but I was also like, that doesn't apply to me. I'm not gonna deal with any of that. I was like, nothing really applies to me anyway, so I was like, useless information anyway. It's all inaccurate anyway, what I learned, so whatever. And then my sister was always like, you didn't learn anything. I was like, I didn't learn how to spell or pronounce words correctly, apparently. Yeah, I can't do that. Specific. Pacific. I always call it Pacific. She's like, no, specific. I still can't say it right most of the time. A lot of different words. And then they would, like, say words, and I had no idea what they were saying. And then if I visually saw it, I'd be like, oh, I know what that means. Because I read a bunch of books, and I saw those words. So I understood what it meant. On paper. But if it came out of the mouth, I didn't understand it. Or if I saw on paper, I didn't understand what it was, but when they said it, I knew what it was. It was very confusing. Life for me was not fair. It was not the case for me. We just did not understand anything now. Yeah, school made 0 sense and taught me nothing. Yeah. A lot of bullying. That's all that happened. I was like, nothing happened in school. Our class, we just learned that we weren't good enough, basically, in our class. Like, that was real shitty. I mean, like art. They were like, oh, you messed this up and this, and always sending me back to fix shit. And I'm like, I don't even like this. What are we doing? I'm just doing what you told me. I don't like this. And then it'd make me color. So then I'd be like, okay, I'm investing in coloring. And now it's never good enough, and I never turned in. But I almost always did. Mostly because they stopped letting you take it home and finish it. You're like, art doesn't leave the classroom. Multiple days. So I turned, like, late or on time. Well, on time. Because it was in the class. But I was always like, I'm working on it. There was color. Otherwise, I didn't give a damn about it. And I was like, I don't care what it says. I don't know what we're doing here. I'm like, oh, this. I don't care. Every time I had to, like, draw whatever, bare basic note, and it turned in. She'd always like, not good enough. Send it back every time. And then she'd also edit it and send it back to me. I was like, if you fixed it, why didn't you draw it yourself? Like, I was like, I didn't get it. I did not. Art was not fun anymore. Was fun. Most of my friends were fun. Art was trash. The grading system, you self-grade it? You always tell me it's shit, and then you expect me to grade it? And I also, if it's not colored perfectly, I hate it. I want to fix it all the time. I gave myself the lowest scores. All the time. I was like, I'm not passing this class. And then I was like, fine, I'll give myself better scores. I was like, I don't believe any of what I'm writing, but I gotta put down. So I always, like, gave myself a B. That's how it is. She was, like, always grading me, like, an A- or an A. And also, like, she didn't believe in 100s. Because, like, art can't be perfect. Well, at least give me a perfect grade, you know. Like, I get, like, the art can't be perfect, so it can't be, like, 100. But the grade should still be, like, A+. But she never gave A+, so the highest you can get was an A. And I was getting, like, B- all the time because I self-graded it, and I hated it. I was like, I don't understand why we drew this. Oh, and then they made me deal with charcoal. Oh, my God. so much of the material was so shitty. You know, she would go out and she'd buy all these special materials, and I hated the texture of my hands. I hated the object. It felt horrible, and I hated working with it. But then I was trying to always fix it, and I had to work with it forever, and I hated it the entire time, and I hated it afterwards. I hated all of it. I was like, I want to deal with colored pencils. And then I got a little bit better at paint. But I had painted before, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And obviously pencils, colored pencils, and paint. That's it. But then they didn't have watercolor paint, they had like other crap, and I was like, I don't really like this. I like watercolor paint. I don't know why you changed it. So, my art teacher spending all that money on extra expensive, like, tools, like, no. Like, I get it sometimes, like, the Sharpie or whatever made sense, but, like, no, I don't understand it. And then adding, like, the extra background color as, like, a border for no apparent reason. I never understood any of it. And then writing your special name on it, and, like, I hated it. And then, like, for our test, we, like, just wrote a essay about random art we saw, and I was like, I don't understand what I'm doing. I read the article about the art, and I'm just gonna copy that, basically. Very little I absorbed from that is gonna be my essay, and I'm gonna have trouble remembering it and add a lot of those to it, so it's gonna be super long. You're gonna have it. And you're gonna see I wrote a long list, and I wrote some of what it said. And I have to look back at it, and probably why it's longer, because I had to say he or she, or the artist, like 5 times, because I had no idea who the artist was, even though they probably said it like 5 times in the article, but I was like, no, I'm sorry, names don't happen. But yeah. But yeah, I did not remember this person's name for the longest time. And then, the rest of the video a while ago about how the voice actor was like, I recognize his voice, and I was like, I love your voice, and then I was like, I don't know who the fuck you are. He was a person I knew shit about. Oh, and then I was thinking about how creepy it was at church that random strangers were always coming up to me and being like, I knew when you were a baby, and I was like, I don't know who the fuck you are. So many random strangers, like, I know your family, I heard all about you. I was like, I never met these people. And then my parents talking about random people I never met, and then taking them forever at church, and I would always, on rare occasions, I'd be like, I don't want to leave, I want to stay here longer. Only because I finally talked to a friend, because my parents took forever. So then I got a deep conversation with my friend, I wanted to finish my conversation. That was extremely rare. I was pissed off because my parents want to leave the church. And before they were always complaining, they're like, you're not leaving, we can't find you, we need to leave now. And then I'd be like, oh, I'm leaving now. And then spend like 2 hours just talking after church. I was like, this is trash. I hate it. Yeah, 2 hours have been a stretch, but almost always an hour. If you're lucky, a half hour. But I wanted to leave forever. I don't know why I'm staring at my teeth so much.